this video about? POV having bipolar? Wow, I truly relate to this. I feel like I always have mood swings from time to time. Perhaps, do I suffer from bipolar? Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to mental health self-diagnosis. My name is Tanesha Andrelyne and I am from SMA Santo Paulus Pontianak. Mental health is a person's condition about their psychological and emotional well-being. The issues regarding mental health has risen as a serious topic that has been discussed. Gen Z, as one of the advocates, has been trying to raise people's awareness of mental health. But why does Gen Z keep promoting mental health? Gen Z is a generation that lives within the internet. The accessibility of information made them aware of mental health and its issues. They connect the problem they face with mental health. They started to value mental health. Some even started to reject things that go against the happiness of their mental health. Their interest in mental health grows into an excessive thirst of validation, which is potentially harmful. Recently, there's been a trend going on where people claim to suffer from mental disorders and show off about it. The trend keeps going on and on to the point where one might even feel insecure for not having any mental disorders. Ladies and gentlemen, how did this happen? Social media are the epicenter spread of this. The duration limit of most contents made the information about mental health unclear. Even worse, they even filled their curiosities by searching through social media instead of trusted websites, which often cause misconceptions. Self-diagnosis is an act of diagnosing oneself as having a particular medical condition without a professionally assigned diagnosis. The commonly known fear of missing out behavior amplifies more people to self-diagnose. Peak contents with slight information and POVs about mental disorders allow people to interpret it more simply and make it easier to misunderstand. Some online self-diagnosis tools claim to have over 12.5 million users worldwide. And there are many more who are self-diagnosed themselves without tools, which is very concerning. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you might wonder, what is it that makes self-diagnosis so bad? According to my research, there are at least 3 reasons why it could be harmful. First, self-diagnosis ourselves into believing we are suffering from some mental disorder could make us truly suffer from one. By self-diagnosing, we truly believe that we have this mental issue within us. We will start to live as if we have one. We will do unnecessary treatments we probably got from social media, avoid activities that could worsen our mental disorders, and many more. Remember, these things that you might think are simple can turn into your habit and eventually affect your life. There are chances of us ending up suffering from the mental disorder for real. Second, self-diagnosis often shows inaccurate results and is potentially harmful. It could prevent us from finding out our real mental disorders. For example, people often connect bipolar disorder to an excessive mood swings. However, mood swings could be a sign of another mental disorder that we barely know. Self-diagnosis could lead to neglecting our worsening symptoms and lead us to a more serious condition of mental disorder. Treatments shown on social media are mostly scientifically baseless, so we do unnecessary treatments that will eventually go in vain. There's a case of Katie, a 21-year-old college student who found mental health content on TikTok and started to self-diagnose as having anxiety and panic disorders. Katie began to avoid social interactions and activities she once enjoyed, believing they triggered her anxiety. She eventually went to a therapist and found out that she was having stress and burnout rather than having an anxiety disorder. This example shows how self-diagnosis can lead to unnecessary avoidance and hinder proper treatment. Lastly, self-diagnosis could lead to wrong treatments and eventually lead to misuse of medicines. Many young people who self-diagnose ADHD from the internet misuse stimulant medications without any prescriptions, which could be detrimental. Stimulants and sleeping pills are the most common medicines that often get misused. Excessive use of them without control from professionals can affect their health in a harmful way. Ladies and gentlemen, what kind of solution we can use to reduce the number of self-diagnoses? First, we must make sure that to reach out to a professional regarding the possible mental disorder symptoms we feel. To do this, spreading awareness about the detrimental effects of self-diagnosis, especially by professionals, is essential. 2. We need to improve our environment so that the closest people like family and friends can pay more attention to one's mental health or even set it as one of the priorities so that no one feel the need to self-diagnose anymore. 3. As I had said before, Gen Z often seeks validation from others. However, we should not always validate how they feel, especially if they haven't received any professional advice. Frequent validation can lead a person to believe that their self-diagnosis is correct. Being critical to them and giving them insights about how self-diagnosis is very detrimental can help them to incite professional help. In conclusion, mental health issue is a serious problem faced by most people. Yet self-diagnosing ourselves is never the right answer. Ladies and gentlemen, our lives ends the day we became silent of things that matter. The end of a speech is not ostentation, but to be understood. Thank you for listening and have a great day.